Audio Jungle.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have paid tribute to the victims of 9/11 on the 20th anniversary of the attack by changing their Archewell website to show the names of the almost 3,000 people that lost their lives. The Duke and Duchess homepage was blacked out on Saturday with nothing but white text reading In Memoriam, September 11, 2001, followed by rows of the names of the victims. The attack on New York City on September 11, 2001 claimed the lives of 2,977 victims across 4 sites, the 2 World Trade Center towers, the Pentagon, and where Flight 93 crashed in Pennsylvania. In addition, the 19 terrorists involved in the attacks on the day were killed. Their names were not included on the Archewell homepage memorial. The Queen and Boris Johnson lead tributes in the UK today. In her heartfelt message to President Joe Biden, the 95-year-old monarch reflected on her visit to the site of the attack back in 2010. She said, "As we mark the 20th anniversary of the terrible attacks on September 11, 2001, my thoughts and prayers, and those of my family and the entire nation, remain with the victims, survivors and families affected, as well as the first responders and rescue workers called to duty. My visit to the site of the World Trade Center in 2010 is held fast in my memory. It reminds me that as we honor those from many nations, faiths and backgrounds who lost their lives, we also pay tribute to the resilience and determination of the communities who joined together to rebuild." The Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall also paid tribute to those involved in the attacks. They said, "On the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, we remember all those who lost their lives and pay tribute to the tireless work of the emergency services, some of whom paid the ultimate sacrifice to save others." In a defiant message to be played at a memorial event at the Olympic Park in East London today, the Prime Minister said the threat of terrorism remained, but people refused to live their lives in permanent fear. "The fact that we are coming together today, in sorrow but also in faith and resolve, demonstrates the failure of terrorism and the strength of the bonds between us," Mr. Johnson said. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer said the consequences of the attacks were still being felt to this day, adding the tragedy was still so raw. He said, "But as we mark this anniversary, I'm convinced our resolve has never been stronger. We will continue to fight terror and violence, by promoting our values of justice and peace." Mr. Johnson said recent events in Afghanistan had only strengthened people's belief in freedom and democracy. The political leader's comments came as the Prime Minister at the time of the attacks, Tony Blair, said the international community must be prepared to take action against the Taliban if they again allow Afghanistan to become a base of terrorism. Mr. Blair said the US and its allies had no choice but to invade after the Taliban refused to give up the al-Qaeda leadership responsible for the attacks. The former head of the UK Armed Forces, General Lord Richards, said the return of the Taliban in Afghanistan raised the prospect of another 9/11 as ungoverned spaces opened up which the terrorists were able to exploit. "I think we are closer to another 9/11. We've now been pitched back into a dark period which we somehow have to manage," he told LBC. A few comments from readers about the move of Harry and Meghan. Sickening that she was sitting there with her claw ready to hit that update button as soon as the Queen had issued her tribute. They always have to say something about everything and anything just to be in the spotlight. How shameless are Harry and Meghan to jump on the 9/11 bandwagon. Not speechless or feeling many layers of pain this time? Wow. This awful pair exploiting a tragic event for their own publicity.